Greetings everyone, my name is Raziel and today we're looking at Tybalt Marr. Tybalt Marr is the oldest warlord in the faction when looking at standard mode, because he was added all the way back in the Galaxy in Flames expansion. In general, Tybalt Marr is considered the best warlord in the entire faction. This is due to two reasons. For one, his ability to put in play an Ajax squad, a 2/2 Astartes with drop pod, makes for the most consistent high-value turn 1 play out of all warlords in the Sons of Horus faction. This body then allows him to set up his battle honor on turn 2, enabling an already sticky troop like the Ezria support or Chief Tank Lethal to become even harder to remove, which then just enables a slow snowball effect in his favor. No other Sons of Horus warlord is able to get close to this level of consistent board presence, making Tybalt Marr a very strong midrange warlord. And secondly, Tybalt Marr is flexible as hell. Normally, you are going to see him rock a midrange deck, as that is arguably his strongest build. But if the need arises, said build can easily be adapted to fit whatever niche is required. Whether that is a more aggressive deck, aiming to win before the opponent can set up a powerful combo, or a slower paced strategy with an invasion package, not a full package as you are still going to be using some mid-game troops, Tybalt Marr can make them work. This is why he also was the best Sons of Horus warlord for tournament play, as he basically did not give away any information to your opponent and could fill in whatever niche was best against your opponent's warlord lineup. So overall, Tybalt Marr is this very consistent and very flexible guy that you can pretty much always pick up and play if you want a rather low to the ground Sons of Horus warlord that doesn't have to evade bad RNG at every corner. Of course, he still has RNG because of the Marks of Chaos on his battle honor, but more often than not they won't make or break your turn and rather just further enhance already good units. As mentioned, midrange is his strongest playstyle, which is why the deck you see in front of you is a midrange strategy. Generally, the game plan is, as I already mentioned, turn 1 you use your ability to deploy a guy that is almost impossible to remove without wasting something like a gem or a flank unit, and then you use that guy to set up your battle honor on turn 2, further enhancing a 3 energy troop you played on curve, ideally one with drop pod. From there on, you can oftentimes start to snowball and slowly take over board control until you can win the game with one of your 2 finisher cards. But let's get to the card by card. Caliber Knight Voss is our anti-stealth and can also function as a 2 damage burn tool for 1 energy. Additionally, this can set up your battle honor, either by chipping something into range or by removing Survivor from a unit thanks to the jam. Avatar of the 4 is a staple card that allows us to survive an enemy turn before we, for example, nuke their face with one of our burn tools. Additionally, it can function as a tool to trigger battle honor off of a strong enemy troop without taking damage, functioning like a stronger sneak attack on your warlord. Furious Shooting is a great burn tool, dealing 3 damage for 2 energy to a target of your choice. This can either be used to damage the enemy warlord or kill or set up kills on enemy troops, which can also enable your warlord's battle honor. Menada's Squad is a great card overall. 3 HP and drop pod makes this guy hard to take out early on if you don't jam him or use a flank unit with 3 or more attack. And if they do either of those things, then one of your bigger threats is likely going to not be answered. One thing to mention is that even though it looks like it, Menada's Squad is actually not a turn 1 play in most matchups, because you would then need to use it to set up your battle honor on the next turn. And this would be kind of a waste, so it's better to keep it in hand until turn 2, where it can be used as another 3 HP drop pod unit that you can buff with a Mark of Chaos, even though it feels a little wasteful. Besad's Squad is a rather underwhelming unit initially, coming in at just a 2/3 body for 3 energy and not even boasting a drop pod. However, it gets a free mark every turn due to its resolution. Personally, I don't like this card, because it is essentially a coin flip if this card is actually going to be a problem for the opponent to take out or not. Basically, if you land on either Khorne or Slaanesh, then it's going to remain as a 3 HP unit, which almost all factions have an easy time taking out without wasting too many important resources. Of course, if you land on Nurgle or Tzeentch, then things are different. But the fact that you need to win a coin flip remains. However, because you can give it a second mark with Tybalt Marr, the odds are much more in your favor, reducing the chance of no HP buff to a mere 16.5% in total. If this still does not satisfy you and you would rather have a consistent body instead that does not need to win a coin flip or get the 85% roll, then you can use, and I'm completely serious here, Udira's Squad instead. Why? Because Udira's Squad has a consistent 4 HP and therefore is a body that sticks to early game boards rather easily. Also, even if you get the attack buffs, this basically just balances out its stats to either a 3-4 or a 4-4, which for 3 energy is not really something you can complain about. For this deck, I felt like Basad was good enough though, so I decided to stick with that. Again, if you don't like the additional RNG, Udira's Squad is genuinely an alternative you can consider, and it is the only other 3 energy Astartes in the faction you can use here, so it's either Udira's Squad or Basad Squad. Next is Chieftain Clothal. This is the stickiest 3 energy troop at your disposal, courtesy of the buffed drop pod. A staple card for every Sons of Horus deck. In a similar vein to the Manada Squad, Ezrea's support is a 3 HP drop pod troop meant to be played on your second turn and then enhanced with a Mark of Chaos. Additionally, its ability can enable further setup in regards to your battle honor without even trading HP on one of your troops in the process. Lastly, for 3 energy, we have Sergeant Kalheem. His spear tip sets up the battle honor rather nicely. Sadly, his stats are rather underwhelming. But even if you lose the Mark coin flip, you still get a 5 or 6 attack troop, which will likely kill any troop that trades into it, or deal massive damage to the enemy Warlord if it is used to take it out. So unlike Basad Squad, even the worst case isn't that bad, as it pushes you a lot closer to winning via board. For 4 energy, we're starting off with the Catalan Reavers. This is a 4-4 Astartes with fast, if you can trigger the spear tip, which is a great way of ending the game or even taking over the board. Additionally, if you roll a Mark of Slanesh, you can get a massive swing in your favor. Death Dealers is once again our AoE. Because Caliban Voss takes over our anti-stealth needs, we don't need to use Call of Cowardice and can instead use the cheaper alternative. Legionary Soulcast is a great way of setting up your battle honor without sacrificing troop HP. Additionally, he is a 3 HP drop-out unit, which can be deployed on turn 2 via your counterattack, not only boosting your Warlord but also your turn 1 Ajax squad spawn, enabling you to take back essentially any kind of boss situation. Next we have the first of our 2 finisher cards, Spreading Corruption. This card buffs your entire board by giving it some stats, as well as another Mark of Chaos. In a deck that is so focused on building a board like this one, this type of card is a great way of either pushing for lethal or getting another big swing in momentum in your favor. You can compare it to Hounds of War in a Kargos deck, for example. Conquering Host is one of the great ways to set up a Spreading Corruption play. This is a day 1 combo that, despite being rather telegraphed, still can hit like a truck. Additionally, if you have Angron on your board, the guys you spawn in also gain flank and immediately trade into the enemy board. Speaking of, Angron is a great troop overall. He is very bulky for his cost, and generally needs to be hard removed, else he either deals massive damage to the enemy Warlord, or trades into multiple enemy troops favorably. Crush the Weak is our hard removal of choice at 1 copy. Hexor Squad rounds out our 5 energy slot. This is just a rock-solid body that comes with a natural Mark of Chaos, making it a rather reliable mid-game troop. For 6 energy, we have our second finisher, Lupercal Pursuant. 6 damage phase is a lot and can kill rather early with a few units on board to support it, making it a staple finisher for every Sons of Horus deck. Lastly, we have Overseer Ludak. This is definitely the only deck where I would say that Ludak is for sure worth using. The reason for this is, of course, the rather widespread usage of Marks of Chaos. enabling Ludak to, for once, not just buff himself, but actually buffing your entire board at times. Even if he gets removed instantly, that one resolution trigger can definitely push troops over the edge to a point where the opponent can no longer remove them. And that concludes the card by card. Again, this is a mid-range deck that aims to snowball board presence until you win with either Spreading Corruption or a Lupercal Pursuant that is assisted by your board of troops. Tybalt Marr enables this further by both his Mark of Chaos applying Battle Honor, as well as his ability to spawn in drop pod Astartes. If you're looking for a simple yet effective Sons of Horus deck that doesn't feel like the usual quote-unquote mindless aggro pile, while also not being another invasion combo, look no further than Tybalt Marr. That concludes the breakdown of the deck as well as the Warlord overview. As always, there is a deck paste in the description with a written write-up, as well as a link to my personal Discord server. That was it from me for today. You can now see the deck in action in some replays. Enjoy the rest of the video.
glory and the glory of him on terror.